You have an answer for me?
Most. Y equals 19.
Okay, so let's say, and you're correct. Let's say that there were only two answers here. Which of these is correct?
Letter B.
Letter B. Yeah, perfect. Okay, very good. Now, this one is a symbolic question, but it's the same style of question, same process. Okay, even though it's symbolic, meaning there's no numbers, there's just letters and symbols here. If I asked you what is the y-intercept, I want you to immediately say, oh, that means that x is
0.
0. And you're going to substitute that value back in.
Okay.
Do you have an answer for me?
So you just plug it into the equation y equals ax squared plus c.
Yes. And tell me what is left over.
Wouldn't that just be y equals a plus c?
So if you substitute the number in like this, 0 squared, you have to square, just follow the order of operations. What is 0 squared?
0.
Okay. You're not allowed to just, 0 doesn't mean it vanishes. I think that's kind of the association here. You're multiplying a times 0. What is a times 0? What is anything times 0?
0.
0. So this becomes 0.
Okay.
So your final answer is just y equals c.
Okay.
Okay, so believe it or not, the next question I'm going to show you is just like all the others we've been doing. It's asking for the y-intercept, but it's done in a different form. So let me make this, increase the size of this. So it says the graph of y equals 2x squared plus 10x plus 12 is shown if the graph crosses the y-axis at the point 0, k. There's the point 0, k right there. What is the value of k? So wherever it crosses the y-axis, that's the y-intercept. What is true about x at the y-intercept? It's 0. X is 0. So you've got to plug 0 into this equation. And then you've got to tell me which is the correct answer.
Y equals 12. Letter
Yes,
D.
K is 12. Good. Okay, last one before we switch topics. Okay, this one, just ignore this last part here. I want to know, what is the y-intercept?
Y equals 16.
Yes. Very good. Okay, let's look at let's do a little bit more in quadratics. Do you remember how to determine whether a quadratic opens up or down? And there's two forms. There's the standard form, and then there's the vertex form on the right here. Do you remember though how you determine whether it opens up or down in either form?
Not really.
Okay, so let me give you an example here. Let's say it's y equals x squared. Do you remember if that opens up or down? That's the parent function.
Okay.
So it opens up. How about minus x squared?
Down.
It opens down. Now what's different about them?
The
What is
negative.
the negative? So the negative is actually the a value. And these actually both share the same thing. So if a is less than 0, it opens down, and that applies to both. If a is greater than 0, it opens up, and that applies to both. Okay, is that okay?
Yeah.
Now, if it opens up, does the graph have a minimum or a maximum at the vertex?
A minimum.
Yes, when it opens up, it has a minimum. And when it opens down, it has a maximum. You've seen all of this before. There's absolutely nothing new about anything I just showed you, but we're going to use that information for the couple of problems here. So is this okay? Is this clear?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so if I give you a function like this, if I say f of x equals x squared plus 4x plus 4, there are two questions that you could reasonably ask. The first one is, where is the, and then does this open up or down? Does this one open up or down?
Up.
Up. So where is the minimum? Okay, and then the second question I could ask is, what is the minimum? So where is the minimum is the x value. What is the minimum is the y value.
Okay.
So in other words, we're looking for the vertex. All right, so we're gonna do that for this problem here. Do you remember how to find the vertex when it's in this form?
Not really.
Okay, so one option is to graph it, which is slow, and you may not have a calculator in this portion of the test. The other is to use formulas.
Okay.
So yet again, more stuff to memorize. The x value of the vertex is minus b over 2a. Do you remember that? Do you remember seeing that before?
Yes.
Okay. So what is the value of a and what is the value of b in this problem that we're looking at?
B is 4.
Okay, which 4 is it? Is it the this middle 4 or this right 4?
The middle 4.
Okay, very good.
And then A is 1.
Yes. So can you find the vertex, the x value of the vertex for me, please.
-2.
-4 over 2 times 1, which is -2. Now, which question does that answer? The where is the minimum or the what is the minimum?
Where is the minimum?
Yeah, where is the minimum? Okay, so that's the first type of question they could ask you. The second is the what is the minimum. To get the what, you have to take that value and you have to put it back in for x. Okay, now when you do that, just be very careful. It's really -2 parentheses squared plus 4 times -2 plus 4. So could you try that for me, please?
Zero.
Okay, so that's 4 minus 8 plus 4, and that does equal 0. So the minimum value is 0. And where does it occur? It occurs at 0, or it occurs at -2, but the minimum value is 0. So we're going to do another one like this, but anything you'd like me to clarify before we move on?
Not really.
Okay. All right, so let's say I give you a function. I tell you that it's minus x squared minus 6x plus 9. And again, it's the same two questions. And then we'll get into some other ones that are on the actual test. But the first question is, where is the minimum, or in this case, maximum, because it opens down.
Mhm.
And then B is, what is the maximum? Let me know when you get either value.
So A is 1 and B is -6.
Yes.
Is the answer -3?
The where is the minimum? Yeah, so it's minus B over 2A minus a -6 over 2 times -1. So that's 6 over -2, which is -3. So that's where the minimum occurs. Or maximum, sorry.
Okay.
So to determine what is the maximum, you have to substitute that value back in to the original problem.
Okay. The maximum is 18.
Okay, let me just work that out here in case you want to look at this later. Minus a minus 3 squared, minus 6 times minus 3 plus 9. So that's minus 3 squared is 9, negative 9, plus 18, plus 9 is 18. Very good. All right. So you might think, hey, I got it. But this is the type of question you'll see on the SAT here. They'll give you something like this. And they'll ask the same two questions that I just asked you, which is, in this case, this opens up. The reason it opens up is when you FOIL, you get x squared positive. So they're going to ask for where is the min? And then part B is what is the min? Now, what is different about the way this one's presented compared to the last one, or even the one before it?
It's not in standard form.
Yeah, and it's not even in vertex form. It's actually in what's called factored form. So they always seem to give you the wrong form on these tests, the one that you don't want. So how do you put this into standard form?
You FOIL
Yes. So I'd like you to FOIL this and let me know what you come up with.
it. Y equals x squared plus 2x minus 8.
Okay, very good. So now that it's in this form, you can say, okay, A is 1, B is 2. Can you find the, where is the min?
The min is negative, or where it is -1.
Yes. And then you can actually go to either factored form or the standard form. You'll find that factored form is slightly easier if you're willing to try something a little bit different. The reason is that it's generally easier to add and subtract and then multiply rather than like squaring and adding. So I would recommend that as an approach here.
And then what is
Yes.
-9.
-9, you said? Yes, that's correct. Okay, now let me show you this. Like I created a simpler problem for you, but let me show you the test question so that you can see how they sort of spice this problem up. It's not as bland as what I gave you here. Okay, so it says in the quadratic equation above, A is a non-zero constant. Okay. And by the way, A does not affect anything. It's totally irrelevant, but they're just throwing it in here. The graph of the equation, the XY plane is a parabola with vertex CD. Which of the following is equal to D? So D really means the Y value. Okay. And it's either the min or the max. Okay. So even though, and one thing you should know, since the answers all have A, you don't even care about A. So it's just like we did here. You found that it occurs at x equals -1, but then the Y value is -9. So the answer is letter A. So sometimes you have to try and do it. You have to sort of like do it in the same way we talked about, or you do it the way we talked about, and hope for the best.
Mhm.
All right, so here is, let me see if I want to give you this one next. It's maybe the next one we have to do. Nope, let's do one more of these sort of nicer ones. Okay, here we go. If the equation y equals x minus 6 times x plus 12 is graphed in the xy plane, what is the x coordinate of the parabola's vertex? So notice it's just asking for the where it is. It's not asking for what it is. And you probably should FOIL to do it the same way we've been doing. There is another approach here, but we'll save that for another time, because I think it'll be confusing until you've got this down.
Okay.
But go ahead and FOIL that and let me know what you come up with.
Y equals x squared plus 6x minus 72.
I heard x squared plus 6x minus 72. Is that right?
Mhm.
Okay, so let's do the let's find the x coordinate of the vertex. So that's the minus b over 2a. Let me know when you get that value.
A is 1 and B is 6.
Okay, what is the minus b over 2a?
-3.
Say that again.
-3.
-3, yes. Okay, very good. All right, now let's say it asked for the y coordinate of the vertex instead. What would you do with that -3 value?
If it asked, oh, then you're gonna plug it into the.
And I'd go back to factored form. Could you do that for me and give me the value,
Mhm.
please?
-81.
So we got -9 times 9. Yeah, it's -81. Very good. Okay, so not that bad, right?
No.
This is something you could do. Okay, let's look at one more problem. We'll look at this one together because it's a little bit more challenging. It's the answer is a little bit different than what we've seen. So take a look here. All right, so the function f is defined by f of x equals x plus 3 times x plus 1.
Mhm.
So this second sentence, I mean, that's really not even relevant. The graph of f and the xy plane is a parabola. Okay, that's extra information. Which of the following intervals contains the x coordinate of the vertex of the graph of f? So basically, we got to find the x coordinate of this thing. All right, now the way we've been doing it is to FOIL. So let's FOIL this. It's x squared plus x plus 3x plus 1, combine like terms. Okay. Now I want you to determine the x value of the vertex and then tell me which interval it fits in.
Okay. I'm not sure I did it right.
Okay, what did you come up with for your minus b over 2a?
-2.
Okay, that's correct. So which two numbers does -2 fall between? And it's totally okay to draw a number line.
Oh, it's letter B.
It is letter B. Very good.
Okay.
Awesome. Well done.
Yes.
All right, so we're going to move to some statistics.
Okay.
I think we'll do this. These are all a little bit, they're not really related. Let's not do that. We'll do a different topic. Okay, we're gonna look at some table problems. I think you had a lot of success in these earlier, so we'll just try some more difficult ones. Okay, so when these problems give you a lot of information like this, it's always good to start with the question. It says, which of the following is closest to the percent of those surveyed who had a summer job? So all the rest of this information that they're about to tell you is not important if you can figure out how many people had a summer job. How many people would you say had a summer job here?
59.
59. Well, we want the percentage of those surveyed. How many were surveyed?
170.
Okay. Now, I don't know if this is a calculator problem or not, but let's just say it wasn't for the moment. 59 is kind of near 60, and 170 is kind of near 180.
Mm-hmm.
60 divided by 180 is what as a fraction or a percent? Can you tell me that?
It's 1/3.
1/3. Yeah, it's about 1/3 or about 33%. That means it's probably letter B.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you see how A and C are kind of far away from letter B?
Yes.
So it's probably B. Now, if you've got a calculator and you want to test this on your own, I think that would be fine. Do you have a calculator? Do you want to see if 59 over 170 is 35% or very close to it?
Yes. Okay. Over.
All right, so if we could ask, it really could ask anything though. It could say how many did not have a summer job, how many had a
Mhm.
summer job that were, or how many 14 to 15-year-olds were surveyed. There's lots of questions they could ask. It's just about identifying the right values in
Yeah.
the table.
On the calculator, it's 34%.
But it's really close. It's like, it's not 22, it's not 47, it's not 53.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the point, is like, that's the only one that's close enough to be able to make sense here with in regards to the answer.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at a new problem here. All right, so again, there's so much information on the left. You really don't want to look at that. You want to look at the question and then go see what do you actually need about from the question there. So if Jing would weigh 200 newtons on the surface of Mars, which of the following is closest to what her weight would be on the surface of Venus? So like to answer this question, the gravity on the gravity on Mars is actually very close to the gravity on Mercury. I didn't know. I don't even know if that's true, but that's, so it would be very, very close to that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the question is, does it go up or does it go down when it goes to to Venus?
Are you saying like from Mars to Venus?
Yeah, I mean, they're telling you the answer on Mars, and they're like, well, what would happen if you went to Venus? Now I'm trying to get you to decide if it goes up or down.
It goes up.
It goes up, yeah. So that means it cannot be A. Sorry, am I having a technology problem here? Oh boy, respond. I have a second screen that I'm using that is not responding. Now it's responding.
Oh, okay.
Not you. Oh boy. Okay. So it's definitely one bigger. Now the question is, how much bigger is 90.7 compared to 37.7? Like, is it double? Is it triple? Is it somewhere in the middle? Like, what is it? If you had to say.
It's a little more than double.
It's a little more than double. So which of these two numbers is a little more than double?
480.
Yes. So see how you don't really need to do any calculations to get this answer?
Yes.
Now, you took physics. The way you're supposed to do this is go 200 newtons equals mass times 9.8, divide both sides by 9.8, and then you get the mass, and then you use this conversion factor here. But that's kind of hidden in this problem. You don't want to do that. None of these problems actually require you to know any physics. They just require you to interpret the numbers.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right, so let's look at that table again we looked at in the previous problem. See if we can answer a little slightly more difficult question here. All right, so let's look at the question here. It says, based on the data in the table, how many times more likely is it for a 14-year-old or a 15-year-old, because they're grouped together, to have a summer job than it is for a to not have a job, than it is for a 16-year-old or 17-year-old to not have a summer job? Basically, they want to compare the two percentages or decimals.
Okay.
So how many 14 and 15-year-olds did not have a summer job?
20.
Did not.
Oh, 69.
69. So 69 out of 170 is the first group. What is the second group?
16, 17, 42 out of
42 out of 170. Yeah. So we're trying to figure out the how much more to not. Okay, so we're comparing the first group to the second group. So it's like, how much bigger is 69 than 72? I'm sorry, 42. So I don't know why I said that. How much bigger is 69 compared to 42?
How much bigger is 37?
So that's if you were to subtract them, but whenever it says times, that's like multiplying. So it's like another way to think of it is like, how do you go from that number to that number? Like, you don't double. Double would be 84. That's too big.
Is it like, it's not that much bigger, so is it like,
It's like saying it's like 42 times some scaling factor equals 69. And you're dividing both sides by 42. But I'm trying to get you to think about it in terms of like, well, it's not 2 times as big, but it's not 1 times as big. It's somewhere in the middle.
Mhm.
And that's what I'm trying to get you to see here. Because these two answers are unreasonable.
Yeah.
Okay. But is it 1.5 times as big? Like is 42 times 1.5 equal to 69?
Um,
So like what is half of 42?
21.
21. So 42 plus 21, does that equal 69?
No,
No.
63.
So that means it's got to be a little bit more. And that's why it's letter D.
Okay.
Again, because I don't know if you would have a calculator on this problem. It is doable without one.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go back to some slightly easier questions. Let me grab a snip. All right, here we go. Got it. So whenever you get a lot of words, again, I'll just remind you, it's always better to go down to the last sentence question. It says, what proportion of adults who received a sugar pill reported contracting a cold? And that helps you to figure out like what information do you need from the table?
Um, so you need, well, you need to look at the row of the sugar pill, and then you need
Yes.
to look at the first column.
Okay, so it's 33 out of what?
33.
I mean, you just told me this, but
Is it 150?
it's 33 out of 150, but is that answer there?
No.
Okay, so how do you reduce this?
Um, you divide it by 3.
Yes. So that's 11 out of 50.
Yes.
Okay, let's try another one. So notice in the one I just gave you, the total was already given. You may
Mhm.
have to find the total or look for it in the words,
Okay.
but I'd like you to try this problem on your own, please.
Is it letter D?
So before I answer that,
Right.
what's really important here is it's as if one of this, this is what it's literally asking for right here, this part, okay? So it's saying that they
Oh,
passed the
okay.
bar exam.
Oh, letter B. Letter B.
So it's this column,
Mm-hmm.
and we care about the ones that did not take the review course, which is 7. And like I said, they did not give you the total. So yes, it's letter B.
Okay.
So one word, one grouping of words could really make make all the difference. Try
Yeah.
not to read all of the words unless you have to, but all these rules, they work for some problems, but not all.
Mhm.
So go ahead and take a look at this one, see if you can work it on your own. I recommend starting there, not reading this long paragraph. You may need some information, you may not. Just
Okay. GK. Is it letter B?
okay. How did you come up with 0.48? What numbers did you divide or multiply or add?
So I used, so I did the row of 3.0 or greater,
Okay,
and the total of that is 156. And
great.
then that's out of 327 total
Okay,
students.
perfect. And without even dividing this, if I didn't have a calculator, it's about half. And that's the only number
Mhm.
that is about half.
Yeah.
Well done. Well done. Okay, well, that does take us to the end of our lesson for today. Did good job, as always.
Thank
So
you.
I am available this weekend if you do want to schedule some more lessons, then regular availability starting next week. And if
Okay.
you want to get back in person, we can do that as well.
Okay.
But I hope you get to enjoy your time off, time away from school, and enjoy some time with your family. And thanks again.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a great
Happy
night.
Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Okay, bye now.
Bye.